Hello Year 4 and welcome to Tuesday's writing lesson where we're going to continue writing our diary entry. Let's get started.
So in today's lesson we're going to be focusing on fronted adverbials. We're going to be including these when we write the next paragraph of our diary entry. Let's remind ourselves what fronted adverbials are. So fronted adverbials are found at the start of the sentence. They are used to give more information to the sentence and they are always followed by a comma. There are a few different fronted adverbials, but in this group of lessons we're going to be focusing on fronted adverbials of time, place and manner. Let's begin with looking at fronted adverbials of time. They tell us when. So in my sentence I've got earlier today I went for a walk. The fronted adverbial here, earlier today, tells us when we went for a walk. So we know it's a fronted adverbial because it comes at the start, at the front of our sentence, and it's followed by a comma. The second type of fronted adverbial we're going to look at is fronted adverbials of place, and these tell us where. So in my sentence, on the riverbank stood a fisherman. The fronted adverbial of place is on the riverbank. It's telling us where the fisherman stood. Again, I know it's a fronted adverbial because it's at the start of my sentence and it's followed by a comma. And finally, I've got fronted adverbials of manner. They tell us how. So in my sentence, I've got frightened, I hid behind the tree. So it's telling us how I hid behind the tree. Again, it's at the start of my sentence and it's followed by a comma, so I know it's a fronted adverbial. Now that we've recapped what a fronted adverbial is, let's have a go at a quiz to test our newfound knowledge. So what I need you to do is to log in to Spelling Shed as you normally would. This is what you should see. Your assignments for your normal spellings as you have at the top here, and at the bottom you can see this, Quiz Shed, and you can see a little 1 in the corner, which shows that I have set you an assignment. So you need to press play, and it's taken you to this screen here. And you can see the assignment that I've set you, which is to punctuate sentences with fronted adverbials correctly. So if you press play here, it will take you through onto the game. So all you need to do is start the game, and then it will take you through all 20 questions. Have a go at these at home and see how you get on. This quiz is available for you to play all until Friday, so make sure you have a go before then. I'll be able to check who's accessed the quiz and what scores you've got, so don't forget to have a go, and you might even get a dojo point. How did you get on with the quiz? I hope you enjoyed it. Let's now recap the steps to success for a diary entry. So a diary entry is a recount where the writer explains what has happened to them. So it starts with Dear Diary, it's written in the past tense, it uses pronouns like I, my and me. You talk about how you're feeling or what you were thinking, and it's written in chronological order, which means the order in which things happened. Ahmed is not the only child who has had to escape from a country that is not safe. Today we're going to meet a little girl called Malik and hear her story so we can get a better idea of what it might have been like for Ahmed. Now we are going to watch Malik's story. You might notice that she doesn't speak the same language as us. She is speaking in Kurdish, which is the same language that Ahmed uses.
كانت كتير كبيرة. أنا أول ما شفتها خفت. أيوة وقت ما مشينا شوي المي دخلت على البلم وكل ما نمشي يطرش علينا مي وكنت بردانة كتير كتير كتير. بعد ما بردت خفت كتير 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 كتير.
We're now going to watch the video for a second time. This time, I want you to think about the bad things that happened to Malik in the boat at the start of her journey. I want you to get a piece of paper and to draw a sad face in the middle of it, just like I've done here. Then, while you're watching the video, you can pause it and jot down all the bad things that happened to Malik. Don't forget, she is speaking in Kurdish, so you can read the English translation at the bottom of the screen.
كبيرة. أنا أول ما شفتها خفت. أيوة بعد ما مشينا شوي المي دخلت على البلم، وكل ما نمشي يطرش علينا مي، وكنت بردانة كتير كتير كتير. بعد ما بردت خفت كتير 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 كتير.
So let's check it together now to see how you got on. We're going to use this as our plan for writing the second paragraph of our diary entry. So the first bad thing that happened to Malik was that she said water started to get into the boat. She then said that she was sprayed with water. She then got very, very cold and she starts to feel scared. Did you manage to find them all?
To help us get a better idea of what it must have been like for Malik and Ahmed, we need to get back in our boats. So I need you to go and grab your boat. It can be anything that you've got around your house. A blanket, a pillow, a cushion, a box. Go and get it now. So we're going to think back to what happened to Malik on our plan. Then we're going to act it out so we can get a better understanding of how Malik and Ahmed must have felt on their journey. So here I am in my boat, rowing across the middle of the ocean. Oh, I can see the waves now. They're getting a little bit bigger. They're rocking my boat from side to side. Have a go in your boat. Can you feel the waves pushing you up and back down again? Oh no, water's starting to get in the bottom of my boat. I hope I don't sink. Ah, the waves are really coming up now. I'm getting sprayed with water. It's really salty and cold. Oh, I've been in the boat a few hours now. I'm starting to feel really, really chilly. Oh, and it's starting to get dark. I'm feeling quite scared now.
In today's paragraph of our diary entry, we're going to be focusing on fronted adverbials of time. Here is a word map with lots of different fronted adverbials of time that you might want to use in your writing today. Don't worry, I'll keep flashing it up on the screen for you to refer to throughout the lesson.
So now it's time to start our writing. Remember, our focus is on fronted adverbials of time. So I'm thinking back to my rehearsal in the boat. What happened first? Well, water started to get in the boat. So that's what I'm going to start with. So I'm going to start with a fronted adverbial of time first. It's telling us when it happened. So I need a capital F. So first, water. Remember, it's in the past tense. It's already happened. First, water started to get in the boat. Full stop. Now I better check it. First, I've noticed a mistake. Remember, our steps to success said that every time I have a fronted adverbial, it needs to be followed by a comma. So first, water started to get in the boat. Right, thinking back to my plan, what happened to Malik next? So she got sprayed with water. So I've got first, I could put next. Next I got sprayed with water, but that's a little bit boring. Let's have a look at this word map and see which ones I could use. Now I got sprayed with water, doesn't really work. Eventually I got sprayed with water. Again, that doesn't sound quite right. All of a sudden, I like that one. I'm going to use that in my writing. So, full stop, I need a capital letter. All of a sudden, again, I can hear you all shouting at me to put in that fronted adverbial with a comma at the end. All of a sudden, I got sprayed with water. Full stop. Let's read this back through. All of a sudden, I got sprayed with water. Well, that's a brilliant sentence. I've got my fronted adverbial followed by my comma, but I think I could make it a little bit better. I really want to give the reader a picture of what is happening in their minds. So I could add some adjectives in there. I could add an expanded noun phrase. So all of a sudden I got sprayed with water. Well, water is my noun, so I'm going to add some adjectives to describe my noun. So I'm going to get my purple polishing pen and I'm going to add it in here. Now, thinking back to our acting out when I was paddling through the ocean, how did that water feel? Well, I think it was icy. It was icy cold. And remember, I need a comma between my adjectives. So icy, salty. water. So now when I read my sentence back through, all of a sudden, I got sprayed with icy, salty water. That gives me a much better picture in my head of what it must have been like. Okay, on to my third sentence. So thinking back to our plan, what happened to Malik next? Well, it said that she started to feel cold. So I could put, then I started to feel cold. That's all right, but let's use this word mat again. So I could put, after a while, I started to feel cold. Or after that, I started to feel cold. I think I like before long. So again, full stop here. So I'm going to put a capital letter. Before long. And I'm remembering all the time our focus on today's lesson is fronted adverbials, and I must have that comma. Before long, I started to feel cold. Full stop. Before long, I started to feel cold. Right, this is our last sentence of writing today. This is the last thing that we had on our plan that happened to Malik at the start of her journey. So it said that she started to feel very, very scared. So this is the last thing. So I could use finally. I'm just going to check my word map to see if there's a better one. I like eventually, so I'm going to use that. So I've got a full stop. So again, that capital letter. Eventually, comma, I start to feel very scared. Let's just check it through. Capital letter, eventually, I start to feel very scared. Oh, I've noticed I've forgotten that full stop, so I need that at the end of my sentence.
So now it's your turn. Let's take a look at the chili challenges for today's lesson. So chili ones, your challenge is to use first, next, then, and after that to tell the first part of Ahmed's journey. We've given you a scaffold here for you to fill in the missing blanks. So what happens first, next, then, and after that? Chili 2, your challenge today is to remember that comma after your fronted adverbials of time. And finally, the Chili 3 challenge today is to use a wider range of fronted adverbials of time. So you can use the word map that I flashed in the corner of the screen, or you could think of some of your own. We can't wait to see what you've come up with. So I want you to pause the video now. I want you to have a go at writing your own paragraph and then come back to me and we'll do a bit of a check together.
So now it's time for the check part of our lesson. I'm going to read through what I've written to make sure that I've included all the steps to success and to make sure I haven't made any silly mistakes. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to circle all the fronted adverbials of time and make sure I've got that comma. Remember, that's our learning objective today, to use fronted adverbials. So first, followed by a comma. I know that's a fronted adverbial of time. It's telling me when. So I'm going to circle that one. And I can also see that all of my fronted adverbials need to start with that capital letter. So first, water started to get in the boat, full stop. All of a sudden, I know that's another fronted adverbial of time. And again, it's followed by a comma and it starts with a capital letter. So all of a sudden, I got sprayed with icy, salty water, full stop. My third sentence, before long, again, it starts with that capital letter and ends with that comma. So that's another fronted adverbial of time telling me when. Before long, I started to feel cold, full stop. And my final sentence again starts with the fronted adverbial. It's got a capital letter and it ends with a comma. Eventually, I start to feel very scared. Right, I want you to do the same in your piece of writing for today. I want you to go through and I want you to circle all of the fronted adverbials you have used, checking that you've started them with a capital letter and ended them with a comma. Off you go and do that. So that's the end of your writing lesson for today. Don't forget to send all of the amazing paragraphs that you've written to the Year 4 email address so we can see how you've got on. Bye for now.